All right, guys, we're back working on the turret again tonight. We're going to get the firewall worked on, get it cleaned up, fix a couple of these rust holes, a little janky. I had my brother here earlier today. He did a great job wire brushing and getting off some of the paint. We're going to clean it up and try to repaint it again after we fix some of the rust holes and stuff like that. I worked on the motor a little bit today. I got the motor mounts put on. I changed the oil pan. And I just put all this stuff on there to mock it up, put it in the truck. We're going to take it back out and change a bunch of the gaskets and clean it up and paint it, give it the Cryline Kenny rebuild and stuff like that. I'm going to turn the camera around and give y'all a show what we did here. You see he's got it all wire brushed and stuff, cleaned up real good. I got to fix some of these holes like they had. I don't know what they had going on here, but they had junk. The guy that had it before me, I guess, or whoever had it before me, they just screwed stuff all over the firewall. They had holes in there, and back in the day we didn't care, but we're going to try to make it just a little bit nicer this time. So we're going to try to fix a few things. And then I got the motor right here, old turd here. I got it fixed up. I got the motor mounts on. I got the oil pan on. Real good friend of mine fixed me up with this oil pan. I'd like to thank him very much for that, because now it fits the truck. It's supposed to fit a little bit. The motor mounts I got from a company years ago. It was called Ingenuity Fab and Speed, and I thought that they made really good mounts. I've put these things in a lot of Chevrolets and a couple different trucks and stuff, and I've got a really nice cross member from them guys that goes back, goes up, goes back down around. Got the cutouts for the exhaust. Really nice cross member, and I love their products, but they're not in business anymore. They went out of business or something, or they quit selling mounts to the public and stuff, I guess. But so because the last swap that I went to buy some mounts and stuff for them from, they didn't have it anymore. So I don't know what they did, but they were really good mounts. But now I just still got them, so I'm going to use them. Well, we're going to get to it and see if we can't fix a couple of these rusty holes here and clean her up a little bit and get her ready to paint. All right, we're going to start by trying to weld up a couple of these holes where they put junk in. I'm going to try to weld up a couple of them, but this part right here, we're going to actually have to cut this spot out and fix it. And this spot right here, we're going to have to cut that out and fix that, where it's rusted out over the years. But we're going to get to it. See what we can make happen. A little better. Not the best. We're going to have to dial her down a little bit here. A little spicy. Still a little spicy. Just dial her back a little. I'll get her figured out here in just a minute. Oh yeah. Y'all want it to sound like bacon. Oh, well, that one right there, we should be able to make that happen. These right here, we're going to have to flappy wheel them down a little bit. That right there, we're going to have to cut that out. All right, well, let me hit this with the flappy wheel. See what that looks like. And then we'll move on to the next one. We're back on my vintage safety glasses. Y'all got to get these, I'm telling you. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and weld that one up. We'll probably just cut that whole section right there out. Probably need to open the door so I can keep an eye on the inside of the cab so we know if it's on fire or not. Be a good idea, huh? We're not on fire at the moment, so that's good. All right, we're gonna move on to the next one. Well, that one is way better than the other ones. Took us a minute to get her dialed in on the other one. All right, we'll cut that spot out and do that one. I guess we can move up here and weld up a couple of these. I don't know why there's so many holes in this thing. But if we're going to fix it, we might as well go ahead and fix it. I was thinking about taking it all apart and cleaning it and painting it and making it like tan and stuff like that. But let's face it, we really ain't got time for that. We're trying to ride, so we're just going to fix the holes and paint it back black just like we did the last time we put it together and keep on riding. When we're like 70 and have nothing better in our life to do, we'll worry about making it really nice. But right now, it ain't that nice. We're just trying to ride. I don't know what all these holes is for, but there's holes in it for days. I guess I need to make sure that we're not getting welding slag on the glass. That is a new glass, and I ain't really trying to fork it all up. Oh, well, that don't look bad. Let the flabby wheel it down a little bit. But it's pretty good. That spot, little janky. We're gonna have to do some cutting over there. We gotta get them holes over there done. All right. Well, that ain't bad. Wire brush that up, clean that up, pull a Bondo on it. It'll be good. Bondo. Can't use Bondo. Bondo's got a bad name. When I was in auto body, we never could say Bondo. Bondo had a bad name. You had to say plastic filler. It was called plastic filler. It was called body filler. Or my all-time personal favorite, body enhancement putty. All right, now I guess we need to go ahead and cut this spot right here out. This spot's a little janky. I might see about taking this loose. So I got room to get up in there. I don't think there's a whole lot holding that on. But I think she might be glued on me. Oh yeah. Gonna have to probably definitely get some new silicone for that project. That's okay. I don't remember what holds this on. Alright, well, whatever held it on fell down in there. And that didn't give me any more room because that don't go out there. So now we gotta go find a mat to retrieve that. Aha. Well, how in the world did I ever hold that in there? Oh, I guess it slid like that and then slid up. Yeah, that probably made more sense. Well, while I'm waiting on the air compressor to build up, I can go ahead and cut this bottom piece off. Hopefully. Move this stuff off so I don't drop it on my toes. I think this is actually going into the cab. It is, and it's got fat mat on it. That's gonna suck. I'm gonna have the doctor on the fat mat and the inside of the cab on that part. What I should probably do is cut it back and go ahead and roll that piece because the tire's been rubbing it a lot right there. I'll probably just fix it back like it was. All right, she may have been sitting for a long time because we hadn't used this thing since, I don't know, back in the day when we was doing body work probably. So we had to take it apart, give her a little love, but she's working now. Hopefully. The butcher. Well, I said it was working. We might have to take it apart again. We might have to send this thing off and get it rebuilt. All right, guys, we're back. After a few technical difficulties with my body saw, we finally got this thing cut out. And I forgot to record, finish cutting it out. But I got this little patch panel made. I'm gonna tack this patch panel in, and then we got to make one for right here, and we got all these welded holes up. So then all we got to do after that is move over there and weld them holes up, and we'll be about ready to clean this thing up and paint it and put the motor back in, or test fit the motor anyway. We got to test fit it and then take it back out and do some work yet, but we want to get it to where it fits. I like to take these little panels like this, and I like to tack me a TIG rod onto the end of it for a handle. You know, it's nice to have a handle, something to be able to hold on to sometimes. Because if not, you'll be done drop that thing down in there, and then you'll spend 1100 minutes trying to play fish it back out. That ain't what you want either. May or may not have to move the fan. Okay, and we're back. And pull that, and when you got a handle on it, you can pull it and move it around a little bit. Look at that. One rust hole fixed. We just got to weld it all up and then flappy wheel it down. Put a little body enhancement putty. Remember we talked about this. You can't call it Bondo. Body enhancement putty. Okay, put that on there. Then we'll move on to that one. See? May or may not have just put a hole in that. But that's okay. We'll weld it up. Time you're doing these patches, tack a little bit, let her cool for a minute. You don't want it to look like the ocean when you're done, guys. Don't do that. It's not good. Let it cool for a minute. You tack it around. It'll come out all right. Always check for fire also. Make sure you're not got the inside of the truck on fire. So far, we're pretty good. Where is there still a fan? Oh, that one over there. Gotta go move the other fan. That one fan over here ain't a problem. We got a lot of fans. And let it cool. Check for fire. Not bad. Got a couple spots right there that might be a little hard. We might put a piece of filler rod right there. I didn't quite. I have about got that gap a little too big. And then right there, there's still a little bit of a problem up there. But all in all, not bad. Oh yeah. Not my best work in the world, but it is work. And it ain't gonna take on water. I don't know about you, but this is a big boat, but it don't float real good. Gotta fill in some of the holes. All right, well now we're gonna get us some cardboard CAD and we're gonna make us a template to go right there. And we're gonna fix that spot. And then we just fix some spots over there. We'll be good. All right. What do I do with my scissors? Here it goes. Where's my... We got to be careful right here because that's fat mat. That is the inside of the truck. We might have to try to soak that down with a little water. That's fat mat. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like that fat mat rubberized junk probably burned pretty good. All right, I'm gonna go cut me this out right fast, and I'll be back in just a minute. We'll test fit this panel. There's a little piece of something right there, so that might mess with our fitment just a little bit. I might have to get me a file for that. Better. Well, what do I do with a piece of metal? Alright, I need to find said water bottle. We do not want said truck on fire right this minute. I'm going to keep this nearby, just in case. Okay, I gotta go find my hammer. Oh, here it is. Oh, there's definitely a fire. All right, I'm checking the inside for fires. No fire. That rubber junk don't weld good. It's oozing out from behind it. All right, I think we might need to go check for fire. All right. Now it's time for everybody's favorite part, grinding. Pretty okay. All right, moving on. Alright guys, we're back. I've got the other couple holes welded up. Forgot to video that, but I did get the other couple holes welded up. I got some primer put on it. I got some rust reformer put on it in some spots. And now we're going to put a little bit of, you can't call it Bondo. We went through this, guys. Can't call it Bondo. Bondo's got a bad name. We're going to put plastic filler on it, or it's called black plastic filler, or it's called body filler, or my all-time personal favorite, body enhancement putty. Yep, we're going to go with that. We're going to put some body enhancement putty on this thing because she needs some enhancing. All right? And then we're going to put a little primer on it, and then we're going to paint it back black. I throwed around the idea of painting it tan to match the truck, cleaning it up, this and that. Let's face it, guys. We're trying to make this thing right again in the near future. Not spend 20 years working on this bucket. So we opted out of that plan. We're just going to paint it back black again with the cool little truck bed that we did the first time. Keep on riding. Well, we're about making it nice when we decide to restore it when we're old. It's been a minute since I've spreaded some body filler. I used to be pretty good at this, but I am not good at it right this minute. This was always my problem with body work. I would put it on, then I would take it back off, and then I would put it on, and then I would take it back off. I always second guess myself too much to try to make it too perfect. But I guess if you wanted it to be nice back then, that's what you had to do. And we're not going for playing blocks perfect here. We just want to be able to ride again and not take on water. We ain't trying to take on any more water than we have to. She's got enough holes in the ship. Well, that looks like a mess right there, but I think it's going to smooth out pretty good. Might not be quite wild man standards, but he can spread body filler way better than I can. Probably why he does body work now and I don't. Alright, well, she's getting hard on us, guys. So we'll have to pick that up on the next coat. Alright, guys, now it looks like we need to do some sanding. Everybody's favorite part. Sand, sand, sand. I hate sanding. And, what do you know, I would have left the sander at the shop. So I don't have a sander here. So we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. by hand. I don't know how good this is going to work. We might have to get a sander. Man, I hate sanding. All this excitement makes me want to start drinking. Good thing I got my yoo-hoo. But I only got to sand that spot right there. I got to put a little bit more down there and one more spot over yonder. And then we'll be ready to put some primer on. We ain't trying to get it perfect. We're just trying to get it where it don't take long. Alright guys, we got our body enhancement put in. This should be about it this time. I mean, I think we're trying to make it a little too nice now, but nobody's ever going to see this, but I don't know it's there, so I want it to be pretty nice. Just because I know it's there. That might be too blue. Mad Work Fest. Alright guys, time for everybody's favorite part again. Sanding. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, now we can hit it off with the blower. And find some primer. I got some kind of primer, sealer, combo in a can from the parts house. Alright, we're going to go with the Gold Cryline can. Light coats, it's free. I want it to run, guys. How the crap am I going to do this? We got to get this chip all over my face. As hot as it is here, it ain't going to take a second to let it dry. probably a little thick now. Probably going wrong. I mean, it already looks okay. It's great. Alright, we'll let that marinate for a minute, and then we'll let it see how much it soaks up that body enhancement pudding. And we'll probably put another little bit on there and let it eat, and then we'll spray it black. Let's go ahead and put a little bit more on there. Why? She rattled in primer. This is pretty good primer. It built up pretty good. It did say high VOC. Alright guys, we got her scuffed up. We're going to hit her with a little bit of this black paint sealer stuff. And then we're going to let that sit, and we'll shoot it with some truck bed, give it a little texture. And I'm pretty sure I was supposed to go and put the seam sealer on before I did this. It's okay. We'll go with a little seam sealer on it. We're not going to put a whole lot on there, just enough to let it soak up. That already looks 20 times better than it did look. I mean, but we're going to make it look a little better. All right, we'll let that sit there and dry. And then we'll put a little truck bed spray on it. Give it a little texture. Alright guys, we're back. We let the primer dry overnight. Got up early before it got hot. Try to get this scuffed up and taped up. And then we're going to put some paint on it. So we're going to get to it. Went to the store, got me some Scotch-Brites because I forgot to bring some of them home from work. So got me some Scotch-Brites. The red Scotch-Brites is where it's at. Use the red ones. They're the roughest. The blue, or the little gray ones, they work pretty okay, but the red ones are where it's at. If you ever see a yellow Scotch-Brite, don't even waste your time with a yellow Scotch-Brite. When I was in auto body, somebody told me I needed to get a yellow Scotch-Brite one time and scuff something with that. You'd be better off with a piece of newspaper. Like, you're wasting your time. Don't use one of those. The red one, where it's at. Now we're going to move to the other side. And we're going to Scotch-Brite this side up. Try to. My brother's already got most of this sanded pretty good. There's just a couple spots around the sides. Needs a little love. It's pretty good. I should probably take that windshield wiper motor off because I don't know that it works anyway. We might worry about that later. Oh, it's a good project for later. All right. Well, I'm gonna try to get up there and take the old PP squirters off because we hadn't used those things in a long time, and the windshield wipers hadn't even worked in a long time. But we might try to fix the windshield wipers. That would be nice to have. PP squirter, we don't have that. All right, guys, I'm back. I went ahead and took the wiper motor off. I figured it would no more longer than it took to do it. I might as well do it and make it a little nicer. I went ahead and took the cowl off. That way I can tape up around the edge up there, paint that. I got me some lacquer thinner and a Scotch Brite. I'm gonna go around these little cracks and crevices up in there where it's kind of hard to get the wire brush and stuff. Get it real good and clean before we try to put a little paint on it. And we're gonna fix this up right fast and try to put just a little bit of paint on it. Let me turn the light on so y'all can see. That probably help. All right, and I have established it don't matter how many lights you have in your building, you don't have enough lights for this kind of stuff, for this whole video and junk. Nope. I got like 5,100 lights in this building and it's bright, but there's always never enough light. It's crazy. And gloves. I didn't used to wear these gloves back in the day. I hated these things. The older I get, the more I kind of enjoy wearing these gloves. Let me tell y'all about lacquer thinner. You remember that cut that you had on your finger? Well, lacquer thinner does, and it will remind you. Okay? That stuff ain't no joke. Try to get back in these little nooks and crannies and crevices. That's what really makes the paint stick. I mean, you want to try to make it. We ain't trying to make no band box nice hot rod or nothing. We trying to build something we could try, but we do want the paint when we do we put on there to stick. Try to make it as nice as we can make it in the time frame that we have with the funds that we have. I've stripped cars all the way down and painted the firewalls and made them all real nice and pretty and stuff like that. But we're not going for that on this turd. We're trying to drive this bucket. Might even fix the windshield wipers. Them things ain't working for forever. But hopefully with this motor we can drive it a little more often and not have to work on it every time we go somewhere. So that would be nice. And we might can drive it farther. I'd like to go to Florida in this bucket. There's some of the car shows in Florida, Georgia, some of the car shows in Georgia, maybe farther up in Tennessee. We drove it to a couple of them in Tennessee, but it didn't like it. And I always had to change the fuel pump because the stupid thing would get hot and quit working. Y'all might be wondering why I keep climbing up on top of this thing like an idiot. But it took us like a couple hours to get this thing raised up in the air because it's so long and the lift didn't want to pick it up. So we had to pick it up with the lift and the rollback. So it's kind of sitting on really tall jack stands at the back. So it's kind of hard to just pick up and let down and pick up and let down. So I'm just going to wing it and go with it like this, and we will make it happen. Hopefully I can paint this firewall today. Tomorrow we can be test fitting the motor. That'd be cool. I don't want to get too much lacquer thinner on my Nair primer. It might make that stuff soft. I don't really want it to be soft. I am entirely too fat for this. All right, now we're gonna go back to the other side and do a little bit of lacquering on the other side. And we'll get to it. I bet I forgot paper to tape this stuff up with. We'll find us some newspaper or something. I reckon we're going to tape it up a little bit and try to squirt some stuff on there. Look at that. Be pretty good. Uh-oh. I ain't trying to get stuff all over this cool plate right here. So I'm just going to tape up the whole plate. One thing that has gotten outrageous is masking tape. This stuff used to be cheap. This stuff ain't cheap anymore. There ain't nothing cheap anymore. Can't even build a hot rod anymore on budgets. Alright, might find some paper, put around it, but other than that, that's pretty okay. Okay, we gotta tape up this little, I don't actually remember what that goes to be honest with you, but I'm gonna tape it up so we don't get no paint on it for this moment. Alright, well, got that taped up, we gotta go tape up a few things on the other side and find some paper. And we'll be about ready to get with the program. We'll get this thing painted up right fast, and then by the time it gets hot later, it'll be dry. And then when it cools off again, we try to stick the motor down in here, get test fitting. We're gonna try to figure out what we gotta do, watch out over here to make the air conditioner fit. Because I got to get on that to get the motor put in so we can start putting stuff back together. And I need to be able to order the brackets for the air condition and the air compressor. Hopefully, the only thing we got to order is the brackets for the air compressor. I'm trying to use the one that mounts it on the top, because that one's like all my junk will still fit, everything will still fit. It's only like $165 or something, which the other one that goes on the other side is like $600. I don't know about you, but I like the cheaper one model first. Probably wouldn't hurt to go through and get a couple new rubber grommets for a lot of it, reseal a lot of it off, help keep it a little bit more sealed off in the cab. And then you got to get up there and make sure. I think I took everything off up there that matters. So it should be pretty good. So now I should be able to, oh, I got to go find paper. Dang. Okay, got to go find paper. All right, guys, I'm back. Got us some sweet old Speed Parts catalogs. They make good things for taping up stuff. I probably just cut that entirely too short, but maybe not. Probably. I'm entirely too fat for this. This paper right here, it don't flex real good. Oh, we got to cut this to make this fit. Cause it ain't bending at all. I'm gonna wipe this thing down and paint it. All right, we'll give this thing a little wipe down, get most of the stuff off of it. Since we're not trying to make it real nice, we don't spend a lot of time on it, but we do want to get most of the big junk out of it. Clean it up the best we can anyway. Probably going to put a little bit of that rust reformer and that sealer on this side, because I didn't do a lot of that over here because I just took all this apart and cleaned it up. Probably going to put a little bit of that down before. It says you can paint right over it, so probably hit that up with a little bit of that. All right, let's make some stuff happen. Woo! Well, we'll let that sit there and marinate for a minute, and then we will, well, we might as well go ahead and put a little bit right here. All right, and then I'll paint all the bottom of that before we put the motor in for the final time. All right, guys, I like this blue can of the Duplicolor because it don't make real. It takes it textured, but it's not like thick texture like your regular bed liner. This is just a real thin texture, and it just makes it look clean, but not like completely bed linered. And when it dries, you can sand this stuff back off, like not like some of that stuff that gets gummy and stuff. Once this dries, you can sand it back off, and you can strip it down and actually paint it like the right way when you decide to make it really nice. That's what we're gonna do. You ought to know I'd get the one with the jacked up cap. All right, what I do with my paper? Yeah, I know I'd get the one with the jacked up sprayer. They don't make good spray paint cans anymore. They just don't. They just quit spraying. You get about halfway through the can and they always quit spraying. All right, we're gonna let that dry for a minute. We'll come back and see what it looks like. All right, guys, as you can see, it looks pretty good now. So, still a little damp, but we'll untape it and see if we can't untape it up and see what it looks like when it's completely done. And then we'll get started on test fitting said motor. All right, guys, we got it completely untaped. Check it out. See, it don't give it a whole lot of texture, just the slightest little bit hides a lot of the imperfections. It just makes it look pretty good for what it is. We'll go back and paint it up real nice later. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Because it's going to take me a minute to figure out how to edit this again. But we'll get it edited, get it uploaded. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, comment, all that cool stuff. Don't forget, it's free to like it. It ain't going to hurt you. And there's not that much in this world that's free these days. So, like and subscribe. We're going to get cleaned up. And the next one, we're going to be stuffing the motor in. Test fitting. Making the air condition fit. All right, guys. Thank y'all.